Hey y'all, welcome back to Andy's Little Homestead. My name's Andy. I weigh 240 pounds. I'm 6'3". I got two bad knees. I smoked it like a chimney and drank like a fish for 15 years of my life. And in October, I'm going to run a marathon. And I'm here today to tell y'all how I landed there. This is a story of one of my biggest failures in life, and just something that I feel like is worth sharing with y'all. When I joined the Coast Guard out of high school, I wanted to be a rescue swimmer. A aviation survival technician is the rating for it, but the guys who jump out of helicopters into the Bering Sea, that's what I wanted to do. Swimmer school has a higher washout rate than Ranger school in the Army, I believe, and I think it's on par with BUD/S, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 85 to 90% don't make it through. And there are some classes where they don't graduate anybody. Everybody fails out or quits. And when I joined, that's what I decided I wanted to do. And in hindsight, I got to give myself credit. I did work hard for it. I would run for miles and miles and miles, and I would swim for miles and miles and miles. I was fortunate enough to meet a guy working he was a lifeguard at the pool in Biloxi, Mississippi, who formerly was an AST. He was a swimmer, and he hooked me up with gear, fins, showed me some things. I had every advantage going into it, and I still failed. I didn't even come close. I was my current height, I'm 6'3", and I was 175 pounds, just built like a squirrel. So when I got orders, before you go to A school for it, you go to what they call the airman program. They send you to an air station. You got your basic qualifications, and for people who are going to be a swimmer, you go work out with the swimmers. And the swimmers start right then and there with trying to get you to quit. They don't want to send anybody, and it reflect on them that they didn't weed out whoever wasn't going to make it. And I was excited about it. I was nervous, and they beat the hell out of us. It was me and two other guys, and y'all, I was not mentally prepared. I might have been physically prepared, but I was not. I didn't have it here. Every time we'd go through a workout, I mean, they'd punish us in the pool, do work underwater, drown proofing, and then sometimes we'd get rewarded with a game of underwater football, which is basically just another game where they try and drown us. Again, kept it up, running for miles, swimming, thousands and thousands of push-ups, flutter kicks, and all that stuff. And it started wearing me down. I started to question why I was there. I had always heard if you're going to succeed in that, you have to go in with no backup plan. And outwardly, I would express that I had no backup plan. That was a lie. That was a lie I told myself. Because in reality, I wanted a way out. My personal life at the time wasn't all that great. Married to my first wife. I ain't gonna go into that, but it was beating me down. And then I'd watch the other guys. My buddy Brandon, who was in it with me, he's from North Carolina as well, and he would do his own workouts after we were done for the day. Like, he had it, and I saw it, and it would discourage me because I felt like I didn't have it. wasn't willing to push, and I wasn't comfortable with the struggle that goes into that. And then one day we went for a run. It started out just like any other, and at about mile 2, my knee started hurting, and at about mile 4, it was screaming at me, and mile 6, when we were finished, I was done. I couldn't walk. And the comfortable lie that I've told myself and anybody else that I talk to about that is that, well, I got injured and, couldn't finish it from there, and that was it. It's only recently that I've come to the conclusion that that was exactly what it was. It was a comfortable lie. There's plenty of other things that I could have done. I could have, gotten it better, identified what caused the problem, found a good solution. But I didn't. It was my out. It was comfortable. It was my relief from the struggle that I was going through. And I took it. I'm not proud of that, but that's exactly what happened. After that, it was like the idea of starting over again. That was out of the question. I wasn't doing it. And so I ended up going a different route. Got stationed on a buoy tender on the Mississippi River, and that was a great job. And, kind of felt good about things from there. I did, my knee did heal, and actually I ended up really getting into running and other workout stuff after that. I ran more after I was done with all of it. I guess the pressure was off. And I'm an addict, and addicts like drugs, and running's a drug, man. So, I got to the point where I was running 10, 12, 15 miles at a time. And I truly enjoyed it. And then I got slack with it. And then I got out of the Coast Guard, and there was no reason to continue to really pursue that. I had other stuff going on, new wife, babies, all that fun stuff. And for a long time, I felt like there's been something kind of lacking, just something nagging at me, and I hadn't really figured out what it was. Excuse me. Back in November, I actually started working out again. For the first time in years. It got to the point where just doing manual labor and farm work wasn't enough to keep up with my eating habits. I like to eat a lot, and it just wasn't catching up. Anybody who's watched me for a while has watched my second chin grow. It's fun. Well, for y'all maybe, but I grew to be not happy with myself, so I started working out, and it was good, whatever. Started making a point of consuming things that are good for me mentally. Started reading more, listening to different podcasts, and I read a book. It was David Goggins' first book. It's called Can't Hurt Me. And this is not a plug. He don't know who I am. He ain't going to after this, I'm sure. But I'd venture to say that it's changed my life and my outlook on things. So much so that I'm willing to tell y'all that story and be honest with y'all and with myself about how I landed where I landed. A quick summary: David Goggins is a former Navy SEAL ultramarathon runner, just super motivated, not just motivated, but disciplined guy who has been at the top level of all manner of things, and he did it against pretty crazy odds. He shouldn't have gotten to where he did based on the way that he grew up. But he turned it around, and it was inspiring. It made me take a hard look at who I really was, not just what I put out there, but the parts of me that I'm not okay with. You know, it's fine to acknowledge what I've gotten right. I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink. I feel like I'm a good dad. All those are good things, and they're worth celebrating. But I actively avoid the uncomfortable things, the things about me that I don't like. And I feel personally challenged to take things to a higher level. And like I said, I was working out before. I was doing, mostly just conventional lifts, just weightlifting stuff, and that's good. It's not a bad thing at all. But when you're lifting, you push yourself for a few seconds at a time. When you run distance, you push yourself for hours at a time, and you go through a lot of peaks and valleys, metaphorically speaking, and also hills go up and they go down too. But you can't bullshit yourself on a 15-mile run or a 26.2-mile run. You got it or you don't. I like that. I need more of that. So, after reading it, and if you do read it, I did all the little challenges with it too. I got a notebook full of stuff that's there for me to work on. But I signed up for the Detroit Free Press Marathon down in Detroit in October. I've never run a marathon before. Like I said, the longest run I've ever done was about 15 and a half miles. I am 50 pounds heavier than I was when I was running like that before. My joints are no better, but I'm going to do it. And I don't need any kind of congratulations on that. I haven't done it yet. It doesn't count. Much like the sentiment that nobody cares how badass you used to be. Nobody cares how badass you think you are or how badass you plan to be. I'm not there yet, but I will be. And I'm insanely busy pretty much all the time. But maybe that's just a comfortable lie that we tell ourselves. Maybe the reality is from 8:30, 9 o'clock when the kids go to bed till 11 o'clock when I go to bed, maybe I'm not doing anything then. Maybe from 4:30 till 7 when they get up, maybe nothing's going on. Maybe I'm not sacrificing anything except for a small shift in my routine. So I've been waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every day for the last little over a week now. Everything hurts. I know that I'm going to have to lose weight. I've been taking in about 1,500 calories a day, which is less than half of what I used to. And I'm already down close to 10 pounds. We're pushing. We're going hard on it. Because I missed my opportunity to do something truly exceptional. And I don't want to carry that anymore. There are some things that can be solved by talking about it, getting help, going to a shrink. But real change, the hard change, the just really getting in there and identifying what went wrong and what you don't like and what you want to make different. I think that's got a lot of value. I don't think you can talk your way out of a life that you're not okay with. I don't think you can talk your way into being okay with it. But I think that you can make changes. So that's my plan. We're in this. Now, for anybody who's worried about it, this isn't going to become a running channel. Nothing else about my life changes except for from 4:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to bed a little earlier. But it's something that's important to me, and it's something I feel compelled to share. I'm not going to do daily updates. I'm not doing any crap like that. Nothing else about this channel's changing. But I've always been real with y'all. I've always included the tough things and the uncomfortable things to kind of document my own personal growth along the way. Because 13, 14 years ago, whenever it was, I'm the one who failed me. I'm the one who quit. I ain't doing that anymore. So that's what I got going on. I have considered the idea of doing a separate page to kind of document all this and you know, maybe some inspiration for people or whatever. Or if anybody wants to train along with me. We're starting at nothing. I hadn't really decided on that, but if it is something that y'all would find interesting, let me know. Or if you feel the other way, I don't really care. Like I said, I haven't decided on it. But we all have opportunities to become somebody that we want to be. And I think that most of us don't do it because we're scared of leaving that comfort zone. And that's a good way to die with regret. So, ain't doing none of that. As always, I hope y'all enjoyed and I hope you learned something. I love you. God bless. Yeah, I'm 6'3". Why does this camera make me look shorter? I am 6'3" tall. That's always surprising. Anybody meets me in person, they're like, "Oh, you're taller than you look like on camera." Thanks, appreciate that. Yep, tall guy, pretty big guy.